All right. Welcome. What's going
We're
on, Brandy?
here. We made it.
Yes,
Another
we did.
another Wednesday.
Another Wednesday. A great Wednesday
Absolutely.
to learn and understand some things that's been going on, right? So
Sure.
there's been a lot of talk about bankruptcy and Pinky, Slutty Vegan,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a lot of confusion going on with what
Absolutely.
she
Yeah.
has going on.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna play a short clip to kick us off tonight of her speaking on the Breakfast Club about her bankruptcy, and then we're gonna talk about attention and going viral for the wrong reasons. So let me go ahead and share my screen, and then we'll get the conversation started. Go to this view. And let me know if you can't hear it.
Didn't file for bankruptcy after buying your business back. Okay, so entrepreneurs,
I
I
can hear
need.
it.
I don't know if y'all saw a video circulating where I said, do not put anything
You say you can hear it?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
in your personal name. Have
Mhm.
y'all seen that clip?
Mm-mm.
Find it after this interview. So the reason why I said that clip is because here it is at my peak, 14 locations, Slutty Vegan. It cost me between 800,000 to $1 million to open up each location.
Mhm.
I raised $25 million in 2022. Company got valued at $100 million. We kicking in the middle of a pandemic,
Mhm.
in the middle of a time where inflation is through the roof,
Mhm.
right? Inflation is through the roof. Supply chain is crazy. So like there's like a 6X on everything.
Mhm.
So we did everything that we said that we were going to do in business. The problem is that when you grow that fast, right? Sometimes you put basketball players on a golf course.
Mm.
You understand what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So you got people that do an incredible job in their skill set, but then you position them somewhere else and they can't do what you need to do to take you where you need to go.
Yeah.
So as a result, we got $20 million in debt, right? And as a result of that debt, we were drowning. So yes, we were making money, double-digit millions, but if your payroll is high and if you have all of these
Mhm.
costs and everything is adding up, your bottom line is going to be red. But what I didn't know is when we were growing the company, everything I'm just signing my name on, personal guarantee, because nobody ever thinks about the business that it will fail.
Yeah.
Nobody thinks like, okay, this ain't gonna work one day, so don't do that. Especially not me. Like I have this company, lines down the block. Everybody loves this brand.
Mhm.
And then one day I look up and I got all of this, that, and I'm like, okay, cool. I can file an assignment for the benefit of creditors. Okay. Do y'all know what that is?
No.
That is
I don't.
bankruptcy's first cousin. Okay. So it's an out of court procedure that you file if you need to restructure your business. It cleans your cap table. So if you have investors, you no longer have investors. I was no longer the CEO, none of that. Okay. So I did not own a company for 43 days. And the estate that took the company, they took the assets and they took the debt so that they can sell off the assets so that they can pay off the debt.
Yeah.
Okay. And then they sell the business to somebody.
So I'm gonna stop it right here. I'm gonna keep going, but it's a 7-minute clip.
Right.
So I want to ask you a question. I want to ask you a question, right? Because you
Yeah, sure.
are or have been a landlord. So what's the process of going to court after someone becomes delinquent on rent, should I say? Like how many days do you have to wait before you have to, I guess, kick them out?
Okay, so I mean, as a landlord, I guess it depends on where you live, right? It's from state to state. I know I just actually did this in North Carolina, literally like last month. I think I went to court last month for a tenant issue. But I typically give my tenants the decency of like saying, hey, you have this many days to get the rent paid. And if you don't get the rent paid, then I will file the eviction. In the lease, most landlords already have the right within the lease to file an eviction the day after the last day rent could be paid. So most of the time people will accept rent up to the 5th, right? Most people that rent, they know they can pay it on the 5th. And so on the 6th, they have the right to file an eviction. Once they file that eviction, then they have to wait on a sheriff to notify the tenant that the eviction has been filed at the court and give them a court date. And the sheriff typically in North Carolina does it pretty fast. I'm sure they probably do it fast everywhere else. Once you go to court, you have to legally show that the tenant broke the lease by not paying rent or by doing violating some other contractual agreement, right? Whether they have occupants in the house, they aren't supposed to be there, blah, blah. And then in North Carolina, because law is different everywhere, in North Carolina, that judge that day can determine if the tenant has more time. Usually, typically, the minimum amount of time that can be given is 10 days. So they give that tenant 10 days. In 10 days, that person has to pay the rent, and they have the option to file an appeal if they feel like they were wrongly accused or wrongly prosecuted for the rent issue. And so it could take like 30 days for a
30
tenant
days.
to get out of a property.
So what if it's a hardship? So if they lost their job, health reasons, would that play a part in eviction, or like you can't evict them because of that?
Not in North Carolina, but it is. I've seen the judge have convictions around someone having a health issue, but legally he can't go outside of the realm of the law. So like if they have that issue and they haven't paid, then there's nothing he can do but give them 10 days, right? But let's say they partially paid, maybe he gives them 15 days, maybe he tells them to pay to the best that they can, file an appeal, and then the next appellate judge may give them some grace. But when I was in court, the judge said all that he felt, like, I wish I could do this, I wish I could do that. But according to the law, this is all that I can do. And he gave the 10 days, and that was it.
Gotcha. So
Yep.
let's listen to a little bit more about what Pinky went through, because I don't think she didn't pay, but let's listen to what she's saying.
Who wants to buy it? But who else gonna buy slutty vegan stuff for me?
Mm-hmm.
So 43 days later, I bought the company. But here's the kicker. After I bought the company, I'm like, okay, cool. Everything is good. Next thing I know, the creditors are coming after me personally because I'm the party responsible from the old co.
Yeah.
So even though the old
Better
co is
talk,
dead and I don't have to deal with the old co no more, they're coming after me because they like, all right, she's a public figure. She got it. She can pay for it. But smart entrepreneurs know is that you don't really hold no assets in your personal name.
Yeah.
On paper, I ain't got nothing personally. And as it should be. So, okay, all right, you have to file for bankruptcy because I got lawsuits. I'm walking into St. Regis. I'm getting served lawsuits, all of these things from OldCo. So now this becomes a part 2 of that restructure. But you know, the internet be internet.
Now we also seen something that they
The creditors.
they changed your
yeah.
house.
Yeah.
Oh my
They
god.
didn't want to let you in your house.
So, you know, it's
They
funny.
said you had to sleep outside.
Ain't
They
that
said it was
crazy?
raining all on
They
your head.
did.
Not
You
it was
didn't see
raining on
that?
her head, and
They
she just cut
did.
her hair.
Okay, and I ain't got no hair, no
I'm about to
umbrella,
say,
no
oh,
nothing.
nothing gonna curl up. It's
Nothing.
So
I
what-
ain't got no
position.
So
the
what
balance
happened?
just gonna roll off. So what happened was I had a tenant moved out. The house was abandoned. So I'm just going to assume that the creditors locked the doors because the house was abandoned. Because the house was abandoned, the grass didn't get cut. So they changed the locks. Not my mortgage company, the creditor. Okay. So my realtor was like, hey, Pinky, somebody changed the locks. We can't get in. I'm like, what you talking about? We calling everybody. So my attorney go down to court and file an emergency motion so that they can change the locks. We still till this day, we don't even know who the company is. They didn't show up to court at all.
So I got another question for you, Brittany.
I've seen this a
because
lot.
I'm really confused. So she owned the property, but she wasn't living there. So she didn't know that the tenant had moved out, and she didn't do anything to the property. Like, how is I'm lost.
Now-
like what?
Now, first of all, how you don't know the tenant isn't living there anymore? I don't know about that. Maybe it was a family member, you know what I'm saying? Maybe it was a friend. But a tenant that pays you, I'm not sure. I don't know how many properties she owns, but I don't think she's a real estate mogul. So I don't see her owning like a crazy number of houses in a portfolio. So that doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. But you know, she's so busy that does it slip through the crack? Does she have a management company running it and the management company doesn't know what they're doing? That happens. Management companies, can be disorganized, can be all over the place as well. Interesting though, she could absolutely break into her own house and change the locks, right? It doesn't matter. Like, I could go change someone's locks right now, but it doesn't make me the owner of that property. And Pinky is still the owner of that property, right? So she could change the locks and then cut the grass and do whatever she needs to do because she still owns the property
So do you think
until
she owned? Go ahead.
until there's the legal proceeding necessary for that property to be owned by the creditors.
So I guess the other question I have is, if she doesn't have anything in her name and you're in real estate, so when you are buying properties, do you buy it in your name or do you buy it in an LLC?
She is 1,000% correct about never having anything in your name. I actually sold the last property that I owned in my name last year for this reason, because you should not own anything in your name. You shouldn't have credit cards in your name. You shouldn't have nothing. You don't need to have anything in your name. The idea around credit and building it is great. You should establish credit any way you can and just keep it. Once your credit hits 750, 700 or higher, then you need to look at how you can leverage business credit, and everything should be in business credit.
So
Everything.
business credit, she's saying that she signed off for, I guess, a guarantor or a personal guarantee when
Yep.
she leveraging that. I'm assuming she's talking about business loans, business credit, all of that, but she has
Yep.
to sign and say that she is responsible for that that loan or that credit card or whatever the case may be, even though it's her business name or LLC, she's still
Yeah.
attached that way. So the creditors can still come and get the asset because of that. Is that what she's
Yes.
saying?
Yes. If you're a guarantor, then the creditors are hoping that you actually own some things personally that they can take to support what your business may have lost in the process of bankruptcy or Chapter 11.
Okay. So let's see what really happened with her, because this is interesting. It's been a crazy 3 weeks, 3 or 4 weeks. I don't know how long it's been going on, but let's listen.
The
They tried to
interesting
force
thing was
bankruptcy.
Go
the
ahead.
interesting thing is that they changed they changed the locks on the house. Because for one second I thought they said they changed her house. I was like, they changed her. Why would anybody change someone's house? That's crazy. But they changed the locks. Okay, I got it. I'm following you.
Okay, let's go.
On that house. That's what it seems like they tried.
No,
to
no,
do.
no, no. The house wasn't delayed on payments.
So why did they? How did
It probably was the HOA. I don't know that to be true because they
Okay.
haven't
So it
responded.
could have been the HOA fees.
But
for
the house
grass and all
was
that.
occupied for 3 years and then vacant for 2 years.
Mhm.
So because it was vacant, me and my attorneys, we're just assuming that because it was vacant, they consider it abandoned, and you could do that if you feel like a house is
So the
abandoned.
grass wasn't cut for 2 years.
No,
Oh,
for
you
2
said
months.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah, the grass. But
I said-
again, my assumption. So we went to court and I won. Not only did I win attorney's fees, and then obviously we're taking further action because that's really some real reputational damage on somebody when you assuming that they lost their house. You understand what I'm saying? This is an investment property. Then they put my personal house on the internet. It's
Right.
crazy. But I realized that one, people on the internet don't read. Okay. Two,
Just
people will
realize
take
now?
a salacious headline. No, I really realize that now.
Mhm.
But I'm so secure within my skin that it don't bother me. I'm like, all right, keep it moving. So now I'm gonna troll y'all ass back.
Yeah.
So when you see my little skits, that's why you see my skits. Because if I got you watching, now I'm gonna give you something to watch.
So a creditor can just do.
Okay, let me start it, because I'm seeing some holes myself, being a business coach and a scaling expert. So she's saying that she went into debt $20 million because she grew
Yes.
too fast and she put the wrong people in position, is what she's saying.
Now,
they want-
mind you, this happens often.
Mhm.
This is something that, like, let's not take for granted that this could happen to most people that grew like she grew. Most people, this would happen to. Like this, what she's talking about. I mean, it didn't even bother me when she said it. I completely understood how she got there. I was like, I can see how that could happen.
Yeah. And I guess I'm looking at it from the other lens, right? Because I'm in the business of scaling, but staying sustainable, right? Like I try to come in organizations and make sure that this doesn't happen, right?
Yep.
So when you're scaling, and I think a lot of people try to use what they have instead of hiring specialists, and that's what she was saying is,
Yep.
oh, I'm just gonna put these different people in different seats and hope they learn it.
And
But
it's
you gotta,
trust. She
yeah.
might have put people that she trusts in seats, you know?
Mhm. But that's why you have contracts. That's why you interview. That's why, like, growing fast is good, but it's also bad when you don't have the right foundation put in place.
Yep.
Because, and like we talked about on another live, doing your research in demographical areas,
Yep.
and making sure that you're not just breaking even or having a 10% profit margin of wherever you're going. Because if she had a higher profit margin, maybe this wouldn't have happened. And if she owned some of the buildings that she was in, then you're bringing in double the revenue, not just from the business, but from also the property as well. And you could pull, what I'm thinking, you could pull equity out when you need it
Yeah.
to keep it afloat as well. And
Yep.
Stacy told me this one time before. He said, if you have a business, brick and mortar is what I'm speaking about, it's okay to have a business, but own the space as well, because that rent is always going to be due. That's why I text that because
Yep.
he said that. So if you own the business and you own the space, you're just paying the property tax most of the time.
Yep.
So let's finish this
And
out.
you have more time with ownership.
Mhm.
You have more time. When you own a space, you have more time. Yeah, I mean, there's so much with hiring. Like the amount of knowledge base that you need to grow a business successfully and be a CEO or president of a company. I mean, it's easy to be creative and come up with ideas, but like the foundational necessities of a business to be profitable, efficient, and have like scaling capability, I mean, you have to put those people in place. And can you afford them?
Yeah, that's the biggest thing, because you're so used to making the money, and I'm still I need to read that book, Pay Yourself First. That's what
Yep.
Stacy
Yeah, it's really
referred.
good. Yep.
Pay yourself first. But when you are thinking about that and you're thinking about what you need,
Yep.
you should be thinking about, when I hit this number, I need to start interviewing or bringing people in to support that. And then you see if it works, if it grows. And if it doesn't, in the time that you have, then it's something that's missing. It's a gap that needs to be filled, instead of just saying, okay, I have the framework. Let me just put this framework in every spot that I open, trying to do it too fast. Because
Sure.
once you start doing things fast, yeah, you're making money at first because you have a brand, you have
Yep.
your viral. But then
Yep.
when it dies down, that excitement, where is it going to go? Like, what is
Mhm.
your floor
Yeah,
before you
that's true.
bounce again?
Yep.
So I think
Absolutely.
that's another thing. So I think we have about 2 more minutes. Let's listen to how she ends this.
Do that, they can just
I just
change
learned
your
that.
life.
Yes. I just learned that it was not my mortgage company. And see, I'm not like, I have almost a dozen properties. So like real estate is not the thing that I'm really good at, to be honest. It's just not, it's not my thing. But I learned so much in real estate now. I'm like, damn, they can really do that. But they ain't even show up to court.
Right, and they can't. They don't have to. They don't get penalized for not showing up, or like
No.
it was
Yeah,
nothing.
well,
that
they got penalized because now you got to pay my
I gotta
legal
pay
fees.
lawyer fees
because
and
you
all that.
won.
Yeah. But I'm
Yeah.
going to take further action because the way that they did it, they disobeyed the law, basically.
Yeah.
I
There's
had
a
a
bu-
question. Some of the like the reports when that happened were saying that like they had first they were saying it was Guardian Asset Management. So it
Mhm.
wasn't them.
It was them.
Okay, so those are the people that didn't show up to court.
Yeah, they didn't show up to court.
Okay, and then
Yeah.
But
That's
they
what I was
didn't
gonna say
take the
too.
house because I owed anything.
got you.
I think it was because it was abandoned. I didn't owe anything.
So then I saw some reports that there were like they were putting notices on. Well, they are saying that they were putting notices and different things on the door, and like almost like they were trying to be in contact for whatever the reasoning was, and that wasn't answered. So that's why they went ahead and I mean they violated the stay, which worked in your favor, but that's why they went ahead and ignored the stay. So what were the notices, or like what was the point of communication, if any?
You know what's funny? My first time ever going to that house was when I went to change the locks to get back in ever, and I've owned that house for probably like almost 4 years. Yeah, I've never ever stepped foot in the house. It was my cousin's house. I bought the house from my cousin. He wanted to get off the house, and I bought it and just added it to my portfolio. I've never been to the house. You understand? So like when I finally go to the house to change the locks, I don't know how many notices they put on the door. But my realtors were also involved. But at the end of the day, it's a learning lesson for me because I learned how this process works. But like victory will prevail, and I'm vindicated because like give me my stuff back.
Yeah,
You
and
so
they got to
s-
pay your fees too, right?
And they got to pay my
Yeah.
fees, and I'm
Yeah.
taking further action.
Wowzer.
There's so much there. There's just so much there. I mean, it's just so much there. I knew for a fact that the mortgage company hired someone to go out there, hired a different company, which is that Guardian company, to go out there, check the property, it's vacant, and change the locks, right? Because the city might have been trying, the neighbors, the city, whoever was trying to contact her, and they couldn't contact her to cut the grass or do whatever. And so all they have to do is look up the mortgage company, and then all they have to do is file something with the mortgage company. Once the mortgage company is notified, they're going to send someone out there to basically protect the property, protect their asset that this loan is against. Because ideally, if it's vandalized and it's destroyed and she owes money on it, then it's not going to be worth the value of the loan that's against the property. So that's why they do it. I hate that we don't know more because she could have paid $200 and she could have got a locksmith to open the door and change the locks, right? Like now, an attorney actually made money from just the ignorance of understanding the law, just basic legal knowledge, which I don't, I don't think she should have known that. I hate that she didn't know that, and then I hate that they didn't just tell her to do that. They were like, "No, let's go to court and do this," which is nuts.
Yeah. I've been to court, not on no eviction or anything like that. Some other things I've been to court for. And I was like,
Right.
why did I hire you like as a lawyer when I'm doing all of the work and you're not doing anything but handing papers off?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I could have like I did so much research on my own. I put my documents together. I did all of the work, but what I think was what her problem was is time. Like she probably didn't
Yeah.
have time to research, to do things, and she was like, "Let me just get a lawyer so I can get this over with." And that's really what happens with a lot of things, not just in court, but when you are investing in anything, you're like, "I don't have time to touch this.
Yeah.
Let's get it over with. Let me hire someone that." And most of the time, people go to the most expensive person because they feel like they're this expensive because they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
But really, anybody could have did it, except for court-appointed lawyers when you are facing jail time.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
So,
I mean, if you were doing like, if you had a tenant issue, like if you had a tenancy issue, you went to court, you paid partial rent, you need this, blah, blah, blah. You want to do appeal as a tenant, you can use a court-appointed attorney, right? They're going to tell you enough basic information for you to figure out how to move forward. But when you're talking about, you're being prosecuted, you definitely want to get a criminal attorney to represent you that you paid for, that is good, a defense attorney that's good at what they do. I'll also say this, I pay attorneys. When I pay attorneys, I pay for a consultation fee. Like every attorney has a fee for you to call them and have a conversation on the phone. And so I pay that fee so that I can just talk to the attorney about what's going on. I'm just going to say, "Hey, my name's Brandy. This is what's going on. I just was reaching out to you so that I could figure out How should I move forward? What would be your suggestion or your recommendation for how I should move forward? This is what I'm thinking, you know?
Yeah.
And that has helped me tremendously. Like sometimes I don't even have to pay the lawyer any more money outside the consultation fee. And that fee might be $125 to $600 for an hour or 30 minutes. But in that short period of time, most time attorneys can tell you what you need to do moving forward. You don't even have to go and pay a $2,000 retainer, you know, and I'm pretty sure Pinky already is paying those attorneys a retainer. Like she shouldn't even, when she calls, they should say, go to that house and get a locksmith and change the locks. Like, but that's the part about it's hard to know all the things that, like, it's hard to know all things, you know?
Yeah. I know she did say like the internet be internet, in which I do agree with that. Like the internet will take something and run with it. They could clip it up, they can make it seem like it's something that is not.
Sure.
And the first question I have for you is, why do people go viral but still don't build wealth in real estate? And before you answer, I'm gonna tell you why I asked this question. I see a lot of real estate agents. I see a lot of people on Instagram with a lot of followers. A lot of followers get a lot of views, but, and I know this from personal experience, when they reach out to someone, let's say a celebrity that's in real estate, quote unquote, right?
Sure.
And they're saying, oh, yeah, do this, and giving advice. But then when they want someone to help, they want you to help them for free because they don't have the money to pay what your price is to grow or to do whatever service you're providing for them.
Yeah.
Why is it so hard for people that go viral to build wealth in real estate?
They are already people that are agents and investors, and they're viral and they're known for being in the real estate space, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why do they want things for free? That's what you're saying. They basically don't have enough money to pay for people's services.
Yeah, correct.
I think that in the real estate space, I don't think real estate, the industry of real estate, they're not used to paying for certain services in general. Does that make sense?
You can
Like they
elaborate
just,
for people that don't know.
like they don't have a good understanding of like the things that are necessary for a business to run successfully, right? Like the cost that people pay for their back of the office to be running efficiently, right? And I think that the viral world, content world, and then actually doing the work of real estate investing, developing, or agency, right? They're so different. And I think just viral can happen by accident, right? Viral can happen by you really loving to go, like loving content, loving to be online. But like getting really into the content world can honestly pull you from the day-to-day workings of the business that you were once in.
Yeah. So you hit right on the nail, because the next question I have goes into distractions, but I'm going to stay on this because I'm going to give you my take on it.
Yeah.
So I think people go viral for the wrong thing while they're trying to either learn real estate,
Yes.
and they're not good enough to be speaking to the masses, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So what I mean by that also is, let's say they're posting, but they're not posting specifically on their day-to-day, what they do. Like they're not posting about real estate, but I'm a real estate agent. They may be posting about partying,
I went to the coffee
lifestyle.
shop.
Yeah, like they're not posting any valuable information.
Right.
So when they go viral and now they're like, well, nobody's buying from me. Well, you're not posting anything that they find value in.
Yep.
So when you're speaking, or when you get on a call, or when someone meets you, say you want to get a deal, now they're really interviewing you to see if it works for both parties. And now you don't have that what you portrayed. And now they don't want to pay you it. now on the other side.
Like they're trying to figure out where the value is, right? Like, do you?
Yeah.
I mean, you saying you do this, but where's the proof? Where are your proofs?
Mhm.
You know, the testimonials. I'll say this. I mean, I think that I knew I had the ability to coach after I was able to reproduce with someone else's personality, someone else's knowledge base, someone else's like their personal distractions. You know, like a strategy or a system doesn't work if it only works for you, right? You can't sell a strategy that only works for you, right? That strategy and that framework has to work for all types of people, you know, in different locations, right? And that's when like your blueprint has went beyond what you're successful at doing. Now other people can replicate what you've done. I think that's a huge deal. And yeah, I mean, people learn things and they're like, this is simple, but there's so much behind the scenes that comes into real estate that like I don't even coach people on the intricacies of behind the scene until they're actually in the project. And that's why I personally like my number one thing is that you have to do a flip because you're not really getting the full coaching experience until you're actually flipping a house because there are things that will come up that is if I told you now, it would be beyond you. You wouldn't understand it. Like you have to actually see it. And you're like, that's what she was telling me. Oh, the walls. You know, it'd be like something so basic. But it was like, now I see this is what this is called, right? And I think my students just have so much more success in the way I teach and coach them because of that.
Yeah, you got to get in the seat. You can't say you want to drive and don't ever get behind the wheel and then you're like, oh, I'm about to drive. And because I remember when I first learned to drive, it was like it was kind of scary because you're not used to going that fast for one.
Yeah.
And then you're like that, like every little thing you're slamming on brakes, like you don't even know how to press the gas or the
That's
brake.
it. Yeah, you're like struggling in general.
Like all the way around.
Yeah.
So let's go back to this attention thing. So does attention help you get deals or distract you? And I'm speaking from the viral and being online.
Does attention help you get deals or does it distract you? Deals as in real estate deals.
Mm-hmm.
It can. I think for sure it can. I think visibility creates opportunity. And so I think anything viral creates opportunity. I think the problem is if you haven't learned how to convert opportunity into dollars prior to going viral on content, it doesn't matter, right? Because no matter when the opportunities come and how they come, you don't know how to convert them into dollars. Like you're not wired to create a financial pathway for whatever opportunity comes before you, right? Like I was at a open house. My friend asked me yesterday, she was like, hey, one of our friends had an open house and she was like, are you going to go to the open house today? You know, they're going to be serving food and stuff or whatever. It was like a luxury listing, $1 million. And I was like, you know what? I am going to go there. Now I'm thinking like, I'm just going to go, you know, I could shoot there. I could talk about something. I could teach my students, right? Like there might be some luxury design tips that we can do for cheaper. I was like, so let me go and check it out. I go and check it out. And I don't know anybody but one person there. So I'm meeting new people, right? And just in that setting, like I have opportunity for 2 new students from just having a conversation. I have another luxury agent that I've met that wants me to come to his open house for a condo development that he's going. So it was just like I was able to meet people, visibility, but then I can convert the visibility because now I'm there. I already have an offering. And so now my conversation is around what I do and what I enjoy doing. And then people hear the passion of what I enjoy doing. And they're like, oh, I know somebody that really was interested in this and they didn't know where to go. I'm going to send them your information, right? And I think that being able to convert is what people lack. you know?
Yeah. I think it goes to poor preparation and
Absolutely.
not being organic, right? If
Hmm.
you're naturally passionate, like you said, about what you do, um, it's easy for you to just spit things off and just talk about it. And people are like, oh my goodness, like I didn't know that. And
Yep.
you feel like it's just your day to day, but people are, their mind is blown because of
Yeah.
information that you're spitting out. You're
Yep.
like, oh my goodness, I need to work with her. And that's
Hmm.
what I think separates you from a lot of different coaches is you truly like to see others succeed and
Yeah.
you're passionate about pushing them to do it
Yep.
and not like, well, just give me your money and then just take this.
If you win or not. Yep. Which is, I mean, in my space, is honestly, it can be a hindrance. But it's because of the way capitalism works in America, and it's because of like how we envision growth, you know. I mean, I might get to a point where, you know, I make even more money and people will be literally telling me like, you need to stop focusing on what people don't do, right? Like people tell you how to make more, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, where do you stop focusing on making more unnecessary money and then start focusing on how do you deliver a quality product to the people that you're called to,
Mhm.
right? And I think when I started, people were just trying to like help me go viral, like they just wanted me to like explode, and I was like, that sounds amazing, but like I have to deliver a quality product. Like I'm the one delivering the product. Like you can help me go viral, you can get me all the leads, you can have people coming to me, and I could make $200,000 in a month. But I have to deliver on those investments that those people made, and I don't want to grow that fast until my systems and things are in place that so we can handle the capacity of that growth.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's a good note to take away from it. If anyone listening or watching, you have to think about your capacity before you say that I'm going to do something. And
Yeah.
Brandy and I talk about this a lot. Like, well, I don't know, like, does it align or yeah, like so. It does weigh on you when you're like you're focused on delivering, but then again, you have opportunity to do
Yeah.
other things as well. So
Yeah.
it's like a constant conflict, and your wires get crossed sometimes. You're like, all right, I have to deliver first, then I can focus on this. So that's why you have a roadmap put in place so
Yeah.
you can stick to your roadmap, you can execute, deliver, and then you can move to the next thing. But a lot of people
Absolutely.
try to skip over that and
Yeah.
like, okay, I got this started, so let me go here and get this started. But
I
I think,
too am that
yeah,
person. I too will do this. I will do. I'll say. I'll say this too. One tip. One thing that has helped me this year tremendously, right? And I read a book 2 years ago, and it was just something I remember that the guy told me. I couldn't tell you the name of the book. I read too many books, but he mentioned that you should write your goals down every single morning. And that's what I've been doing this year. And every time I write my goals down, it reminds me of what I'm doing every day. It's like, this is what we're doing. Like, not that stuff. Not whatever you came up with randomly yesterday at dinner with your friends and you told them a story and then they came up with something else you could do. Not that. This is what you said you wanted to do this year and you wanted to accomplish this year. And how does every task that you do today align with that?
that's amazing because I coach the same way. But like, say I'm coaching a team of 10 people,
Yeah.
and they all have to be aligned on that one goal.
Yeah.
And you can have a bigger goal and objective, but then you have to have different goals and iterations. And what I mean by
Mhm.
iterations, every 2 weeks, 1 week, you have to have one goal that you set out to accomplish, and you don't go anywhere until that goal is accomplished by the team, by the person. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter. So once you accomplish that goal, now you have room to create another goal as long as it's aligned with that roadmap that
Yeah.
you have laid out. And I think a lot of people they don't do that. They don't goal set. They don't have objectives. They don't have
Mhm.
key performance indicators. They don't have a structured day. they just wake up like, what do I do today? I know I want this, but I have all this other stuff going on and all these other opportunities.
Yeah,
But if you have a goal, then you can say, all right, this isn't aligned with my goal. This is not going to help me get it.
sure.
And I can really fixate on accomplishing that goal. So I love that you said that. That's common, like with successful people, should I say?
Oh yeah, because we're problem solvers, right? And we're creatives. You know what I'm saying? And when you solve problem, no, when you're creative, like I think entrepreneurs are artists, like they're creative artists, right? Like most entrepreneurs think creatively about how to solve problems, how to create a solution for something that someone needs a solution for anywhere in the world, whether it be like how we make coffee, how we drink coffee, how we wash our dishes, right? We're always creating a shortcut to get us to our end goal. And I think that because we think like that, we're able to go into a lot of different places. And real estate in general, there's so many opportunity in real estate for people to invest in different ways, builders or agents or flippers or wholesalers or short sales, Airbnb. I mean, you could go in a million directions, apartment owners, and even in that, you have to focus. I think when I started coaching, I was flipping and I was coaching people to flip. And I got to a point where I said, wait a minute, even me focusing on doing flips and coaching people to flip are two separate things, right? And it was very, very difficult for me to decide to make less money to do something I was called to do versus continuing to be selfish, not be in my purpose lane, and just keep making a ton of money flipping. Because it's easier for me to just continue to flip forever by myself. I mean, I could 12 houses a year, $500,000, 750 profit. Like I could just go on about my life, go to Italy for a month, go to Greece for a month, my family's good, like drive whatever car I want. But at the other side of it is like after a while, right? Like from 250 to a million, I can do the things I want. Like there aren't major life changes that happen for me. Other people might have different desires, but for me, from those two pay brackets, there's not a lot more that I would do. And I was like, well, if that's not the case, then where's the purpose work for me? And I'm a helper by nature. Like I help people by nature, and I think that I was created to offer a place of like educational opportunity and growth and confidence and hope, right? Into a community where people just take advantage of our ability to spend, like our natural desire to spend money. Like our community is the top spender. Like there's something about spending money that is in our DNA.
That's so funny. And I think your purpose will lead you to bigger and better things, right? Because you
Absolutely.
may only have capacity to flip, let's say, 12 houses in a year and things like that. And when you have purpose, even though you're not getting the monetary gain at first,
Yep.
later that can push you to something that you didn't even envision happening.
Yep.
And like I said, I got a call today about an event in Virginia, and I haven't been like getting paid off of the 5 a.m. club. That was really brought to my vision of trying to help people be better people.
Yeah.
And I know we have like all this negativity going on, people back and forth, men, women,
Sure.
Donald Trump supporters, non-Trump
Yeah.
supporters.
All
It's
this
like
division, right?
yeah. And we're supposed to be united. Like America is United States, but we have the most conflict internally, not like harmful conflict, just
Absolutely.
bickering back and forth.
Bickering,
It's crazy.
nonsense. Yeah. Yeah.
But I always say, coming from the military, if others would go to another country and come back, like I mean a third world country, like something that's so horrible that you see so much, you will come back and say, this ain't that bad. I think I'll stay here.
Yeah, this is actually great. Yeah, yeah. It's like, I mean, if we had less of the chatter, like the distractions and the chatter, like the voices, people talk, America is beautiful. I mean, there's so many places that are just phenomenal that we don't even experience because we, work, eat, sleep, and be on social media. You know what I'm saying? I mean, most people don't have hobbies, they don't have things they enjoy. Most people don't read, they don't like explore like just the things right around them, like in nature or, museums, the arts, right? I think that that's why people feel like, oh, this is terrible, right? I just watch the news all day. All these bad things are happening, right? But you could have just walked down the street and saw that your neighbor just like planted the most beautiful garden you ever saw. Like, it's like, oh my God, how did you do that? Oh, I didn't know you were growing herbs, right? We just got out of that communal experience. And I think those are the things that we need to feel like we're grounded, to feel in touch with like what's happening around us.
And I think what we're building as far as helping others in your way and in my way, Stacy's way, Deshaun's way, like all of the ways that we are helping people and bringing a community together, I think we
Yeah,
could get back to that and take people away from being distracted by things that don't support their life
sure.
and really live a life that they deserve to live because they work hard to be better. If you're not
Okay.
being trying to be better every day,
Yeah.
then what are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
Like at night, I know you experience this, like just going to sleep and then like wake up like, oh, I have something to do. It's because we have a vision. Most people don't have visions on what they
Yeah.
want
Yeah.
their life to be like, who
Yeah.
they want to help. They just wake up, go to work, turn the news on, watch a movie, go to parties. I don't know when the last time I've been to a club, quote unquote, a club.
Yeah. I don't either. I couldn't even tell you. I'm thinking like a lounge, maybe. But I'm
Yeah, a
talking
lounge.
about
I go to a lounge, like
a
a
lounge.
club.
I'm talking about it's slow. Like it's a slow lounge. Like you can see people across the way. It ain't like crowded. Like I can see the man all the way on the other side of the lounge.
It's so funny. But yeah, so like in your community, like you have so many different tools that you use to help people be
Sure.
successful. And so I got a question for you, your community. Like when someone joins, what's the process of okay, I contacted Brandy. Now I'm paying her to help me. So what's the first thing that happens after that?
Okay, so as soon as you join my community and you pay, we of course we'll have like a contractual agreement, right? Because I have, we've already qualified you, but I need to make sure that you also agree that you're going to be participating as we agreed to initially, right? And then I have an agreement to you. Like I've made promises to you as your coach of what things that I think I want to make sure you can do when you finish my program. So that's the first thing that we kind of do. The next thing you do is you'll join my community where you'll be able to see other students and communicate with them and see their wins, see what they've been able to accomplish, see their struggles, see the things that the challenges and the things that they've been able to overcome. And then, depending on what program you're in, if you're in a group coaching program, within a matter of 3 days, you'll be in a group session with the other students, and I'll be teaching and then doing Q&As. And I meet with that group 3 days a week. And then, if you're a one-on-one student, then you would immediately get a link to book your first call. And during that call for one-on-one, I really can get to know the student, right? Because now I'm like, hey, look, where do you see yourself in the future? Like, what do you desire? And like, what are the some of the burdens that have troubled you, right? Because then I ask those questions so that when we get to the part where it's like, well, how does this look like a success for you? And they might be like, I just want to make $50,000. And I might be like, well, you said that your student loans are a burden and your student loans are 150,000, you know? So is that 50,000 going to decrease your student loans so that burden has been, lessened, right? And I like to make sure that they're aligning success with the things that are troubling them, right? Because sometimes people are stressed out and they don't even remember why they're stressed out anymore.
They've been stressed so long.
Like just stress, just everything, just girl, it's just all the things in my life, like just everywhere, everything. It's like, okay, that's true. Let's break it down and get to something that we can actually attack or plan for or set a goal for, right? Because when you set that goal, there's going to be so many hurdles that come in on that journey of reaching that goal. You have to wake up every day and say, am I closer to my goal? Right. And what were those goals? Right. Because people literally make up new stuff along the way. It's like, oh, I didn't know I was going to have to pay an extra monthly payment because the project is behind. Okay, now I need you to go back to your goals. I'm going to learn how to flip. I'm going to make profit that's going to pay down my debt, right? My first flip is going to teach me way more than any of my other flips will ever teach me. And then once you go down that list, you're going to be like, oh no, I'm still accomplishing all these things. So no matter what is happening, I'm still accomplishing these things. And that is the goal, right? And so that's why I think it's important to have that one-on-one so that I can help people make sure they align before they get into those roadblocks. So that's kind of like the intro.
Great intro, by the way. But I know the end goal is what most people want. That goal that they're setting, those goals that you're talking about.
Yep.
And I want everyone to envision this end goal. Imagine flying to Miami,
Yep.
and being in a room with Brandy, Stacy. Stacy is a real estate developer, by the way, that works with accredited investors.
Sure.
Deshaun, insurance broker that helps veterans, and a few others in one room. And you are talking to others that we have coached, we have been around, and we have supported, and how their lives are now.
Mm-hmm.
Now, think about where you want to go after leaving that. And that's what we're offering everyone inside of not only the Skool community, but we're doing a wealth tour and ending up in Miami. You have flight credit, room and board, yacht experience, should I say. We're not giving you a yacht. You have a yacht experience.
You have a yacht. That's crazy.
You have a yacht experience, and you have round table discussions. What the round table discussion is, we sit at a round table and we come up with deals for real estate agents, veterans, accredited investors, anyone that wants to invest their money and see money in return. We're not with just giving you information that you're not going to use. So, like I said, you have Brandy there, Stacy, Deshaun, myself, and some others that are specialists in their field that you can pull information from, and others, which will be your peers, that you can also orchestrate deals with and find out what they know. Because your network, that's your network. You got to know people.
Your network is your network.
So I know we're, it's Wednesday. My sons are home, so you know what time it is.
Exactly.
But thanks, Brandy, for joining again. I know we're missing our road dog tonight. Stacy,
Yes.
he had a lot of stuff to do. But
I'm glad to be back.
Yeah, she
Yes.
went MIA for a little while, but
I did.
she's
I
back.
apologize, friends. I'm glad to be back.
But again, we have some events coming up. If you want more information on events, the sub-events leading up to Miami, join the Skool community, join Brandy's community.
Yes.
And just, if you want to get in touch with us, contact us on all social media platforms. So again, it's another investment talk with Brandy and Dom, Mrs. Stacy, but see you in 2 weeks.
Yes.
Thanks, guys.
Bye, guys.